The Golden State Warriors already have the best record ever for a regular season. Now the defense of their championship begins. Matt Dollinger is here. All right, Matt, you look at Golden State's record against every other playoff team in the West. It's 23-3.
Wow.
They get the Houston Rockets in the first round. Is this going to be a sweep?
Yeah, it most likely is going to be. I mean, Houston really got into the playoffs more or less because Utah failed down the stretch, and the Rockets don't really belong in the postseason conversation. The Warriors are just peaking confidence-wise right now. You know, it looked like they almost weren't going to get to 73 wins, but I think they just need to feel the pressure again, and that's kind of re-energized them. And this isn't like the NFL where you have a 17-0 record, you get to the postseason, you're still carrying that pressure. They did it. They got to 73. The pressure's off them now. They've kind of done this impossible feat already. They've cruised through the playoffs last year. I can't really come up with a reason why they won't again.
Okay, what other upsets could we see in the first round if we think Golden State's going to cruise all the way to the Western Conference Final?
I think the most likely one could be in Thunder Mavericks. And, you know, obviously that would be a huge disappointment for the Thunder, but I think that the Mavericks probably possess the best bet of any of the underdogs. You know, the Mavericks are obviously playoff tested. Dirk Nowitzki has a squad around him that I think is probably capable of an upset. The Thunder, it's really going to come down to Durant and Westbrook, as it always does, and how much Billy Donovan can get out of him. This is his first time coaching in the playoffs. Rick Carlisle, a veteran, so I give the Mavericks an edge in that regard.
Okay, if, though, Oklahoma City does beat Dallas, it would set up a Western Conference semifinal between Oklahoma City and the San Antonio Spurs. What would you expect from that 7-game series?
I would expect a lot of happiness out of the Warriors because they don't have to play both of them, and they're going to kind of settle their disputes on their own before getting to Golden State. So first of all, that's great for Golden State. I think San Antonio has the advantage there. You know, the Spurs any other year would be a historically good team that we're exclusively talking about pretty much. It just so happens that they've had this amazing campaign with the Warriors winning 73 this year. But, you know, I think San Antonio is built for the playoffs. They've been kind of, you know, pacing themselves all year for this. They've got the right roster, the right experience. They've got pretty much a matchup answer for everyone in the Western Conference. So I feel bad for San Antonio. They've got to face Golden State, but they should be able to handle the rest of the West.
Final question for you, the LA Clippers. Is the window closing on a potential championship for them?
It is, yeah. I think it's closing fast. It's another team where they're fine. They're not great. And, you know, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul deserve to be competing for a title. They've had this core for a couple of years. It hasn't worked out. You can't really look around the team and kind of come up with an answer of why or how this team's going to get significantly better. So I think that if this year doesn't result in a trip to the Western Conference Finals, they could press the reset button.
Maybe we see vintage Paul Pierce now that the playoffs have started?
YouTube?
Maybe. We'll head to YouTube for that. Matt Dollinger, thanks a lot.